The significance of biological resources has been growing gradually as the key to critical issues of humankind, such as health, environment, energy, and foods, etc. According to the Convention on Biological Diversity and effectuation of the Nagoya Protocol, the paradigm that took biological resources as common asset of humankind has changed into recognizing the sovereignty of biological resources. Thus, the reinforcement of sovereignty of biological resources became the prerequisite choice against the age of bioeconomy. Have you heard about the Center of Biological Resources in the Korea Research Institute of BioScience and Biotechnology? The Biological Resources Center, also known as KCTC, the Korean Collection for Type Cultures, currently is the biggest domestic institution in charge of deposition, preservation, and distribution of microorganisms. KCTC currently has the most of biological resources in Korea and supports the deposition or distribution of biological resources according to the needs of researchers worldwide. KCTC was founded in February 1985 and has been provided researchers with the infrastructure of biological resources needed for the entire process, covering basic researches to commercialization of biological resources, with excavation and preservation thereof. KCTC currently holds approximately 40,000 strains of biological resources, including bacteria, actinomyces, fungi, microalgae, and plant and animal cell lines. The number of kinds of secured novel type microorganisms ranks the first in the world since 2017, and the cases of the citation of research papers in SCI journals based on biological resources of KCTC ranks the third in the world since 2016. The deposition of biological resources can be distinguished into four categories. First, general deposition of biological resources is provided for purposes of researches, industrial applications, and education for which the deposited strains are preserved by KCTC and are distributed for the exploitation according to each purpose. Second, safety deposition signifies the deposition of separated microorganisms manifesting useful characteristics for industrial or research purposes, free from damages thereof. Third, it is stipulated in the Patent Act that the authorized agency or institution for deposition of microorganisms shall be responsible for the deposition of microorganisms of patent application. KCTC acquired the status of the Institution of Deposition of Patent Microorganisms authorized by the Korean Industrial Property Office and WIPO, and thereby accept depositions of microorganisms or strains of international patent. Fourth, KCTC is also designated as the exclusive agency in charge of management and distribution of research accomplishments of biological resources. Research accomplishment of biological resources implies the tangible outcomes and information of biological resources, comprising microorganisms, animals, plants, and genomic resources, etc., created by National Project of Research and Development. KCTC, dedicated to the management and distribution of research accomplishments, receives depositions of biological resources according to the purpose of the open and share of information to researchers in the industry, academy, and research institutes and the public for them to access to such information easily and conveniently through collection, verification, classification, and processing of research accomplishments. Then what are the reasons behind the selection of KCTC by researchers and institutions? Above all, the reasons are the convenience, public benefit, and excellency in deposition, management, and exploitation of biological resources. KCTC adopted the ISO Quality Management System for deposition, registration, preservation, and distribution processes of biological resources for the first time among domestic institutions, and thereby established the standardized management system for biological resources. In particular, the biological resources which are hard to cultivate or preserve, such as anaerobic or ultimate bacteria, are under strict control system. Cultured biological resources are then put into at least 3 kinds of distributed preservation system, different from each other for safety and for managerial purposes. Cryopreservation of biological resources exploits the liquid nitrogen of -196 degrees Celsius, allowing temperature of -70 to 80 degrees Celsius of ultra-freezing preservation. For the cryopreservation, the vacuum ampoule for biological resources are used. All facilities used for the preservation of biological resources are monitored through automatic monitoring observation. And all the biological resources are under control of computerized system associated with the barcode system. KCTC also performs the function of national infrastructure through standardization of management and preservation of domestic biological resources. Besides, the domestic researchers are supposed to be provided with biological resources such as microorganisms, algae, and cell strains of animals or plants preserved by KCTC for purposes of researches in bioengineering and related industrial researches. The microbiome in humans, as well as in animals and plants, play an important role for the physiology of each host living together. KCTC exploits the skilled technology of isolation and cultivation of bacteria from each host, human, animal, plant, to isolate microbiomes and to secure tangible resources for pertinent joint R&Ds of academy, industry, and research institutions. By exploiting the best domestic technology capable of isolating and cultivating bacteria, it has secured microbiome resources of approximately 10,000 strains from human body, 5,000 strains from animals, 3,000 strains from plants, and 2,000 strains from probiotics. In addition, the cell strains are transferred to industry in the form of technology, transferred to support the cultivation and development of domestic bioindustry. Besides, KCTC also hosts a variety of workshops and conferences and provides educational services for the reinforcement of exploitation of biological resources. The international network comprising ACM, WDCM, and WIPO is also exploited for the interchange between overseas and domestic researchers. The securing of biological resources, as well as the management and exploitation thereof, are regarded as the key resources leading the bioindustry, which is anticipated to be dominating the age of bioeconomy. Biological resources are at the root of bioindustry. KCTC will lead the advancement of national infrastructure through establishing the management and exploitation of biological resources, which are needed for the academia and industry. The representative and global leading center of biological resources is the goal of the KCTC. Thank you very much.